Have you noticed that certain things don't feel quite as easy as they used to? Maybe getting out of a chair takes a little more effort. Maybe climbing a flight of stairs leaves you more tired than before. Or perhaps carrying groceries, opening a heavy door, or getting up from the floor just doesn't feel as effortless as it once did. If you're over 50, it's easy to think, that's just aging. But here's something important to understand. Getting older is a normal part of life. However, losing strength and muscle isn't something you simply have to accept without doing anything about it. Your daily habits can influence how well you maintain muscle, strength, mobility, and physical independence as you age. And some of those habits are surprisingly ordinary. You may be doing them every day without realizing that they could be working against your goal of staying strong. Today, we're going to look at 7 common habits that may contribute to muscle loss or make it harder to maintain strength after 50. And stay until the end, because we'll also go through several simple things you can start doing instead. This isn't about becoming a bodybuilder, it's about staying strong enough to live the life you want. Sitting for too long. Let's start with something many people do every single day, sitting. You sit at breakfast, you sit in the car, you sit at work, you sit while watching television, and after dinner you may sit again for several hours. The problem isn't that sitting is inherently bad. Your body needs rest. The issue is spending too much of the day inactive. Muscles respond to the demands you place on them. When your daily routine requires very little movement, you're giving your body less reason to maintain a high level of physical capacity. And after 50, regular movement becomes particularly valuable. The good news is that you don't need to turn your entire day into a workout. Start by breaking up long periods of sitting. Stand up every so often. Walk around your home. Take a short walk after a meal. Use the stairs when appropriate. Do a few gentle movements while you're watching television. These small actions may seem insignificant, but they help make movement a normal part of your day. Think of it this way. Your muscles don't only care about what you do for 30 minutes at the gym. They also experience what you do during the other 23 and a half hours. Not getting enough protein. The second habit is one many people overlook, not eating enough protein. Protein provides amino acids that your body uses to build and maintain tissues, including muscle. As you get older, maintaining adequate nutrition becomes increasingly important. But there's a common mistake. Some people focus almost entirely on reducing calories. They eat less and less because they want to lose weight. The number on the scale goes down, but they may not be paying enough attention to what they're actually eating. Instead of thinking only about calories, think about the quality and balance of your meals. Foods such as eggs, fish, chicken, Greek yogurt, lean meat, beans, lentils, and other protein-rich foods can be part of a balanced eating pattern. You don't necessarily need complicated supplements or expensive products. Start with ordinary foods. For example, instead of having a breakfast that contains mostly refined carbohydrates, you might include eggs or Greek yogurt along with fruit and other nutritious foods. At lunch, you could include fish, chicken, beans, or another protein source. The goal isn't to obsess over numbers. It's to make sure your overall diet provides the nutrients your body needs. And if you have kidney disease, another medical condition, or specific dietary restrictions, talk with your healthcare professional before making major changes to your protein intake. Avoiding resistance exercise. Here's one of the biggest mistakes people make after 50. They walk. They do some light cardio. Maybe they ride a bicycle. And they assume that's enough to maintain strength. Walking and cardiovascular exercise are excellent for overall health, but they don't provide exactly the same stimulus as resistance exercise. Your muscles need a reason to remain strong. That stimulus can come from weights, resistance bands, machines, or even certain bodyweight exercises. You don't have to start with heavy weights. In fact, if you're new to resistance training, starting too aggressively can be counterproductive. You could begin with simple movements such as controlled chair squats, wall push-ups, resistance band exercises, or light weights. The key is consistency and gradual progression. For example, a beginner might start with a few simple exercises 2 or 3 times per week, depending on their fitness level. Over time, as those movements become easier, they can gradually increase the challenge. That's how you send your muscles a simple message. We still need you. And remember, strength training isn't only about bigger muscles. Strength can help you perform everyday activities more confidently. Getting out of a chair, carrying groceries, climbing stairs, picking something up from the floor. Those are the movements that matter in real life. If you have an injury, significant pain, or a medical condition, get appropriate professional guidance before starting a new exercise program. Extreme dieting. The fourth habit is extreme dieting. At some point, many people decide, I'm going to lose weight as quickly as possible. So they drastically reduce their food intake. They eliminate entire categories of food. They skip meals. Or they follow an extremely restrictive diet they found online. Rapid changes in body weight can be tempting because they produce quick results on the scale. But the scale doesn't tell you everything. Your body weight includes water, fat, muscle, and other tissues. So if your only goal is to make the number smaller, you may lose sight of an equally important goal, maintaining your strength. A healthier approach is to think about body composition and overall health rather than simply chasing the lowest possible number on the scale. That means eating nutritious foods, getting adequate protein, staying physically active, and making changes you can actually maintain. If weight loss is your goal, gradual and sustainable changes are generally more realistic than extreme restriction. And remember, the goal after 50 shouldn't simply be to become lighter. It should be to become healthier and remain capable. Treating sleep as optional. Here's another habit that can quietly affect your entire lifestyle: not getting enough quality sleep. Some people think sleep is something they can sacrifice. They stay up late, wake up early, use their phones in bed, drink caffeine late in the day, and then wonder why they're exhausted the next morning. Sleep is not wasted time. It's part of recovery. When you're trying to stay physically active and maintain strength, recovery matters. Poor sleep can also make it harder to maintain healthy routines. You may feel less motivated to exercise. You may feel more tired during the day, and your eating habits may become harder to manage. So, instead of treating sleep as an afterthought, make it part of your health routine. Try keeping a relatively consistent sleep schedule. Create a calm bedtime routine. Keep your bedroom comfortable, dark, and quiet. And consider reducing stimulating screen use before bed. If you regularly wake up during the night, snore heavily, gasp during sleep, or feel unusually tired despite spending enough time in bed, talk with a healthcare professional. Sometimes poor sleep is more than simply having a bad bedtime routine. Doing cardio while ignoring strength. The sixth habit is not actually about doing too much exercise. It's about doing only one type of exercise. Maybe you walk every morning. That's great. Maybe you cycle. That's great too. Cardiovascular activity is important. But if your entire exercise routine consists of cardio, you may be missing another important component of healthy aging: strength training. Think about what your body needs in everyday life. You need endurance to walk. You need strength to carry. You need balance to move safely. And you need mobility to perform everyday movements comfortably. That's why a balanced approach can be more useful than focusing on only one type of activity. Your routine might include walking or another form of cardiovascular exercise combined with resistance training and appropriate balance or mobility exercises. You don't need to spend hours exercising. Consistency matters more than trying to create the perfect workout. The best routine is often the one you can safely continue week after week. Waiting until you feel weak. And now we come to perhaps the most important habit of all: waiting. Waiting until your legs feel weak. Waiting until stairs become difficult. Waiting until carrying groceries becomes a struggle. Waiting until you lose confidence in your balance. Many people don't think about maintaining strength until they've already noticed a decline. But prevention starts earlier. You don't need to wait for a problem before you begin taking care of your physical capacity. Think of strength like savings. You don't start saving money only when you need it. You prepare ahead of time. Your physical capacity works in a similar way. The goal isn't to become extremely strong. It's to maintain enough strength and mobility to continue doing the things you enjoy. Traveling, playing with your grandchildren, working in the garden, going for walks, carrying your own groceries, getting up from a chair without thinking twice. These everyday abilities are easy to take for granted, and so what should you do instead? If you're over 50, you don't need to completely change your life tomorrow. Start with a few simple principles. First, move throughout the day. Don't let hours pass without getting up and moving around. Second, pay attention to your nutrition. Include nutritious, protein-rich foods as part of a balanced diet. Third, add resistance exercise if it's appropriate for you. Start with manageable movements and gradually build your strength. Fourth, protect your sleep. Give your body enough time to recover. Fifth, don't chase extreme diets or extreme workouts. Think long-term. The goal isn't to transform yourself in 2 weeks. It's to still be strong 5, 10, or 20 years from now. And finally, pay attention to changes in your body. If you experience unexplained weakness, significant or rapid changes in weight, persistent pain, difficulty walking, repeated falls, or other concerning symptoms, don't simply assume it's normal aging. Talk with a qualified healthcare professional. Getting older doesn't mean giving up your strength. It doesn't mean you have to accept becoming inactive. And it certainly doesn't mean you need an extreme fitness program. Sometimes the most powerful changes are surprisingly simple. Stand up more often. Move your body every day. Eat nutritious foods. Give your muscles a reason to work. Get enough sleep. And stay consistent. Because healthy aging isn't about looking 30 again. It's about making sure your body continues to support the life you want to live. The stairs, the walk, the vacation, the family gathering, the hobbies, the independence. Those ordinary moments are the real reason strength matters. So, which of these 7 habits do you think you need to change first? Tell us in the comments. And if you're over 50, share one habit that has helped you stay strong and active. Your experience might help someone else who is on the same journey. Thanks for watching, and remember, the goal isn't simply to add years to your life. It's to add more life to those years.